The second chance. David Foster sat alone in his small, messy apartment, staring at the book in his hands. The name on the cover made his heart sink. Ryan Carter. Ryan was once his best friend. They had the same dream, to become writers. They used to sit in cafes, share ideas, and promise each other that one day they would publish their own books. But life had other plans. David's dream ended the day his father had a stroke. The hospital bills were too much, and his family needed him. Writing didn't pay the bills, so he took a job in an office. Days turned into years, and soon he stopped writing completely. And now, Ryan had done what they once dreamed of. He had written a best-selling book. David hesitated before opening it. As he read, his chest tightened. The story felt too familiar. It was about a man named Daniel, who once dreamed of being a writer, but gave up because his family needed him. It was David's story. His struggles, his pain, his regrets. Everything was in the book. David slammed the book shut. Had Ryan stolen his life and turned it into a novel? His hands shook with anger. He grabbed his phone and searched for Ryan online. He was coming to town tomorrow for a book signing. David knew he had to confront him. The bookstore was crowded. People stood in line, chatting and laughing, waiting to meet Ryan. David's heart pounded as he stepped forward. When Ryan finally looked up from signing a book, his smile faded. "David," Ryan whispered. David walked up to him, holding the book. "Why did you write about me?" A few people turned their heads. Ryan put down his pen and stood up. "Let's talk." He led David to a quiet corner. The air between them felt heavy. David's hands were clenched into fists. "You stole my life and turned it into a book," he said through gritted teeth. Ryan shook his head. "I didn't steal your story. I wrote it for you." David frowned. "For me?" Ryan took a deep breath. "You were the best writer I knew, but you gave up. I kept thinking, what if you had kept going? So I wrote this book, hoping you would see it." David felt his throat tighten. "I didn't have a choice, Ryan. My father was sick. My family needed me. Writing wasn't an option." Ryan nodded. "I know, and I respect that. But let me ask you something. Do you think your father would have wanted you to stop writing forever?" David looked away. Ryan continued. "Life gets tough. We have responsibilities, but that doesn't mean we have to bury our dreams forever. You still have a story inside you, David." He reached into his bag and pulled out a blank notebook. "Start again." David stared at the notebook. 15 years of regret. 15 years of thinking it was too late. His hands shook as he reached forward, and then he took the notebook. That night, for the first time in 15 years, he picked up a pen and wrote, "Because it's never too late for a second chance."